Hey, what's up guys? My name is Jeremy Miller. I'm a runner and running coach based out of Austin, Texas. We are here in the Super Training Gym, getting a little lower body session in this morning. We hit a speed workout on the track. So today we're gonna hammer the legs some more and do a lower body session. So I'll walk you guys through everything I'm doing today. I always start with a mini band warm up. We'll do some deadlifts, get in some functional movements, and we'll just destroy the legs as much as we can today. All right, I just did a quick mini band warm up using the hip circle here. I feel like just some real simple glute activation, hamstring activation really helps get everything ready for the workout. So first exercise is gonna be some deadlifts. We'll work up to like 405 pounds for a couple reps. We'll back it off and hit a couple reps of 4 or a couple sets of 4 reps, and we'll go from there. But I almost always start my strength workouts with a big compound movement, either squats or deadlifts, and everything else in there will just be accessory movements. So hit some deadlifts. One of my greatest athletic accomplishments was just about a month ago. I deadlifted 500 pounds and then I ran a sub 5 mile in the same day. The mile wasn't too bad. I'd done that before, but the deadlift I really had to work for. So I hired Pete Rubish, another legendary power lifter. Hired him, started working with him as a coach, and within 9 weeks, I think he helped me take my deadlift from like 435 up to 500. So pretty quick time span. And now he taught me so much about deadlifting, form, technique, how to breathe, that it's okay to use straps and a belt sometimes. Yeah, he taught me a ton of stuff that I'm still implementing now. So very proud of that accomplishment. So I lift 4 to 5 days a week, 2 lower body days, 2 upper body days, and then if I have time for a 5th session, I will do usually like full body. Like, I love mixing in some kettlebells, so I'll do just like a full body kettlebell complex if I have time for that extra one. But what was I gonna say? The first session of the week is usually like Tuesday or Wednesday. That's the lower body. Almost always deadlifts on that day, or work up to something heavy. Like today, we're gonna hit a couple, like 2 rep sets at 405, and then the second lower body session will usually be higher reps, lower weight. So just really working on the volume on that day, but it's what works for me. I don't know how much actual like science and data is behind this training style. I just know that it works really well for me. I've been able to get faster, get stronger at the same time, and I just feel good. So gotta find what works for you. All right, so I'll go for 2 reps here at 405. We'll do 2 sets of this. Didn't feel too bad. I feel like lifting in the super training gym adds at least like 10% to your strength, so feel pretty good today. All right, we'll do our second set here. 2 reps at 405. My bench and my squat are not my strong suits. My deadlift is definitely my best lift, so I just like to lean in to what I'm good at. So I definitely love deadlifting. I don't squat a whole lot. If I do squat, it's usually like Bulgarians, usually if I do squat, it's like goblet squats or something like that. I don't do a lot of back squatting. It just feels like very unnatural for me, and I feel like I get more stimulus out of something a little bit more controlled, like a goblet squat. But deadlifts are by far my favorite, so I do a lot of these. All right, we'll knock the weight down to 365, and I'll do 2 sets of 4 there. I like mixing in one heavy day like this, where the reps are a little bit lower, the weight's higher, with the second leg day, because I feel like these types of days really help with like the power for muscles. And then the other days where it's higher reps, lower weight, that's just more like muscular endurance. I feel like for me, that's a really good combo because you're working kind of both systems of your muscles that really help with running, because running is all about muscle power, but also obviously as the distance gets longer, you gotta have more muscle endurance. So I feel like both of those kind of play that role when it comes to running. All right, we got some sled pulls now. These are so good for knee strength, that lower quad area, just building up that whole area right around your knees. Obviously your knees take a lot of impact when you're running, and so trying to get those muscles and tissue around your knees built up is huge. Everybody talks about running's bad for your knees. I say running's only bad for your knees if you don't strength train. So try and target that area as much as we can. So I'll do 25 yards back and forth, do this a few times. Really just trying to think about that bottom of your quad area. I'll normally superset these with a push, so I'll pull it down, push it back, but I don't think we have a sled at the moment that will allow me to push it. So we're just pulling for today, but this eccentric movement is so good, especially like I'm training for a 100-mile race through the mountains, and when you're running downhill, that downhill eccentric braking movement on your quads just wrecks your legs. So this will kind of help mitigate that, strengthen all those muscles in there. All right, I think we've got, what do we have next? Bulgarian split squats and lunges, I think. Gotta see what we got. Now we've got superset Bulgarian split squats and some box step ups. My 2 favorite accessory movements for running. So let's hit it. One of my favorite hacks I recently learned for finding the perfect split squat distance is just sit with your butt on the edge of whatever you're using. Put both your feet out on your heels, bring one foot in, step right out. It's like the perfect distance. All right, we've got 8 on each leg here. All right, we'll go 8 reps each leg here. I'm gonna add a knee drive at the top just to help with balance, stability, and to get a little bit extra hip flexor work that way too. If you're somebody that runs and say you're a pretty decent runner, but you don't strength train, I feel like you're just leaving a lot on the table. And just start slow. Like, just like how you start running, you gotta build a base, start slow. So maybe just do like one body weight exercise or one body weight session each week. And then slowly from there, add weight, add a second session over time. But yeah, it's just like anything else. Just start slow, find what works for you. But yeah, I think strength training number one way to reduce your risk of injury. Running is obviously a very injury prone sport. There's a lot of pounding, a lot of wear and tear and repetitiveness on your body. And so the strength training helps kind of mitigate that. And obviously hormonally, there's a lot of benefits for your health from strength training. So running arguably is not amazing for your overall health, like metabolically, hormonally. And so kind of balancing all that with strength training, I think, can not only make you a better runner, but just healthier in general. So if you lift, but don't do any cardio, don't run, I kind of say the same thing, like slowly, like Mark did, you know, start running from like landmark to landmark, like run from here to that stop sign over there, run from here to that street light, and just start really, really slow, let your body adapt. I would say it's probably an easier transition if you're already a lifter into the running world, just because, as opposed to the opposite, because you already have the inherent strength to help reduce your risk of injury. And so, yeah, I mean, obviously cardio, like VO2 max, your cardiovascular fitness is like the number one indicator for your overall health and your life expectancy. So I think incorporating some sort of cardio, whether it's like 1 to 2 hours a week of just zone 2, just some kind of cardio, would be huge for anybody that lifts and doesn't think they need cardio. Yeah. I'm a little gassed. All right. These are great questions. Once I realized running was a single leg activity, I totally changed my perspective, changed my mindset on strength training. I used to only do like bodybuilding type stuff, so like come in, hit the cables, hit the machines, which is great for building strength and size, but not great for functionality, especially for running. So once I realized, wow, when you're running, you're never on both feet at the same time, you're always all your weight on one foot. I started implementing that into my strength training, and that was a game changer. So everything I do now outside of like the 1 or 2 compound movements is all single leg focused. Whew. Damn, I'm out of shape. Whew. All right, we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna ditch the weights and we'll do some plyo additions into the split squats and the step ups. I feel like the biggest thing I learned from Pete was that I left a lot on the table for strength training. Like, I've kind of deadlifted on and on for several years, and I always had the idea to do 500 pounds in the back of my head. But after starting working with him, I just realized I wasn't lifting heavy enough, because I had that like self-limiting belief, like, oh, I'm a small runner guy, I can't lift heavy. And then when he would program stuff for me, it's like 4 times 365 pounds. 2 years ago or a year ago even, I would have been like, there's no way I could pull that. But he kind of like helped me remove that that limit I had on myself to, wow, I could probably actually lift heavier if I tried. And so just having a coach be there to help provide the programming, provide the confidence, that's probably the biggest thing for me. He gave me so many tips on like technique specifically. Like, one of the biggest cues I still think of when I'm deadlifting, 2 from him actually. One is like try and think of my arms as long as possible, because it's like when you're pulling, like if your arms are as far away from you as possible, that's less room that the bar has to travel. So if I'm up here trying to pull, I'm really pulling the bar farther off the ground than I have to. And so keeping my arms as long as possible, I really think about stretching my lats and shoulders out as much as I can. And the second cue is just the explosiveness. Like, I feel like when I used to watch people deadlift, it looked kind of just like, oh, they're slowly kind of pulling it up. And I would try to do that and I wouldn't be able to lift as much, but he got me in the mindset of like just yanking the bar off the ground, explode up as fast as you can, like just being really just explosive with the movement. And even though when you're doing heavy weight, it doesn't look like you're exploding, you really are, just to get the bar off the ground. So those two things helped me the most from Pete. All right, so we're gonna do 2 sets with the split squats and box step ups again, but this time we drop the weights and we're gonna add in a little plyo jump. Again, running, single leg activity. You're basically jumping, bounding from one foot to the other. So on this one, we'll go up or go down, pop up, try and get as much height as we can, explode up. So this one, I just started doing these a couple weeks ago, and I really like them because you're teaching yourself. You get down in this position, you gotta pop up, be explosive. And we'll do the same thing with the box step ups. I feel like this just adds like one extra dimension of functionality, where the movement itself without the plyo jump is already functional and single leg, but that extra element kind of just gets you in that mindset of explosiveness and getting those like fast twitch muscle fibers turned over. So I think it's very helpful. More so just like from a nervous system perspective. I do a lot of like, we'll do some at the end, but like ski jumps, like laterally, like that. Those are great, especially lateral stuff like that, just because running is kind of a 2-dimensional exercise. And so I think just good to get used to moving in other dimensions, other planes. So I do a lot of those. I'll do like jumping squats like that, which is sort of what we're doing here, but obviously these are with foot elevated, so some of that, but no, not a lot of bounding. I do some like box jumps occasionally. I'm going more into the plyo side of things, but yeah. Okay. All right, we'll finish off this workout with some walking dumbbell lunges. I'm gonna do 10 each leg, and then we'll do some ski jumps. We'll call it a day. Doing a speed workout in the morning, and then like 3 hours later, doing a leg day. It's tough. When I first started doing it about a year ago, it was really, really challenging. I was so sore, and I could like barely get through the leg workouts, but I've been doing them every week for the last year basically, and now it's not bad. Like, it's a lot of work, it's tiring, but you get used to it just like anything else. So if you want to start implementing lower body days with speed days or with long runs, you definitely can do it. I do it, but just start slow. Like I said earlier, just like maybe start with some body weight, maybe do it every other week or something until you build up the tolerance. Or you can just do like I did, just start doing it every week. It might suck in the beginning, but you'll get used to it eventually. Just wrapped up our workout. That was right at an hour. One last point I wanted to make is you don't have to spend hours and hours in the gym, especially if you're using lifting as a supplement for running or just overall health. You can come in 30, 45 minutes a day, a couple times a week, and it doesn't need to take hours and hours in here. So solid workout today. Legs are definitely feeling it. They're feeling a little bit like jello right now, but that's the goal. That's how you get stronger. That's how you get faster. So solid workout. If you guys want to follow me, you can check out my Instagram, just at Jeremy Miller. My website, I've got marathon programs, lifting programs on there for runners or people trying to get into running. That's just jeremymiller.io. I've also got a podcast where I talk about all this stuff. I interview guests, talk about health, fitness, running, everything involved with that. That's just the Jeremy Miller podcast. But thank you guys for having me out here. First time in the super training gym. It's been a blast, and stoked for it. So thanks for watching, and hope you guys got something out of this.